What's up, guys? Welcome back to Corvette Weekly. So, for those of you who don't know, this is a weekly episode of Corvette stuff. So, Corvette maintenance, ownership, tips, news, everything you can think about when it comes to Corvette. That's what this show is. And yeah, I wouldn't mind to not start until 50 thumbs ups, but yeah, I think you guys got it in you. Last time, I think it was last time we hit 100, and we still had like 10 minutes before 8. So let's try to hit 100 before 8 o'clock again, guys. And if for those of you who aren't Eastern time, that's within the next 24 minutes. So smash the thumbs up button if you can, guys. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about tonight. It's going to be me and the wife tonight. The wife's got her glass.
Cheers.
What do you think she's drinking? Do you think that's apple juice? What do you guys think?
Ginger ale.
Ginger ale. So we're actually going to talk a good bit about the ZR1 tonight because there's some news out about it, some leaks that have come out, and of course we got to experience a little bit of something ZR1 related at the National Corvette Museum Bash that we're going to talk about as well.
Blackout tinning zone.
Blackout tinting in the house, guys. That's actually kind of funny because kind of repping the blackout tinting stuff. Shane says a margarita. Shirley Temple. Blackout tinting. Which blackout tinting guy do I have here? Is this Josh? John? I think that's all that has access to that.
I'm gonna say Josh.
I was gonna say I'm assuming Josh as well. So somebody said up here, let's see what we got. Jay Murph, I think, was the one. He wanted to know when we were gonna get some juicy news. We're gonna jump into the news pretty quickly tonight, but I do need to get the necessities out of the way. For those of you who don't know yet, the Monday Night Lives are in fact sponsored by the National Corvette Museum Insurance, or NCM Insurance, because it doesn't have to be a Corvette that you're insuring, and their rates are really good, guys. Again, check out the link in the description down below. When you're going through the setup to check out your insurance, make sure you put horsepower obsessed in step number 5 about where you heard about us. Save yourself some money, and it helps out the channel. So run through that. Even if you like your current insurance company, check them out before you just say no.
It's Josh on Blackout tinning. He says the one and only, and he's sitting on your couch in Florida right now.
Nice. Nice.
What's up, Josh?
I thought you were going to sleep, Josh. You need to go to bed. General Lee, what's up, man? How you doing? Cars and Airplanes, hello, how are you? Jay Murph is your St. Louis guy. I know the name. It's the Murph part that gives you away, I think. Move the logo under Amber and have her Vanna White it. Yeah, I probably should do something like that. And just
can't, like, well.
Whip Reynolds is in the house. Bill Miller, what's up, man? Hey, Amber, thought you would be popping the bubbly. It's not so bubbly, I guess.
Nah.
But it's not apple juice.
It makes me bubbly, though.
Yes, it does. J.R. Griffith says, hey, Justin, are you a rock and roll soldier yet? No. I actually have not touched that guitar since last time we talked about it. Yeah, Bill Miller says, hey, Justin, see you're blowing up the tunnels again. Yeah, on the way home from the bash, we went through 2 sets of tunnels to get home. And I was like, I can't just drive through these. I need to blast through these. AARPM's in the house, guys. Of course, a lot of these people I'm talking about, Bill Miller, AARPM, we met them at the National Corvette Museum Bash. It was a really, really good time.
It's good to finally like know these people, like when
right,
you say
right.
Their screen name.
Yeah, we have a face to put with the name. This is why I wanted to meet you guys at the Bash, or really, if any of you are going to Corvettes at Carlisle as well, I want to meet you there too. Just so we can put a face with the name, you know?
I like Larry's comment. Hey, Shane, Amber, and all obsessed people.
I like that, Larry.
What's up, Larry?
Hey, Amber, Shane, and all the obsessed people. Very nice. Let's see.
Did I see Derek's on?
J.R. Griffith. Yeah, I remember the song. Yeah, that was a good one. Hanging with Shane. He's our thumbs up guy. Everybody knows him. If you don't want to anger Shane, and trust me, you don't want to see Shane mad, smash the thumbs up button. It's the only way to make sure he doesn't get mad.
52 thumbs up. 129 watching.
Yeah. What's going on with that, guys? We need those numbers to match. Smash the thumbs up for me. Michael McCurry says, still no check engine light. Yes, no check engine light. So I am at about 1,000, little over 1,000 miles since we put those cats on, and still no check engine light. So I think Fingers crossed, knock on wood. I might have found the magical combination of parts where you don't get a check engine light, but you pretty much are pushing the maximum amount of extra horsepower you can without a tune. Yeah, is John Perkins in here? That's a good question.
I didn't see him yet.
He's usually on here.
Kevin Horan's on.
Red C8 Z06, my ACS is also coming tomorrow. So Red C8 Z06 and Corvette guy. I actually just installed those rock guards yesterday. They are very, very nice, very high quality. I love the mesh on the back part that stops the rocks from flying through. And there's John Perkins. I knew he'd be on. Most of us have a face for radio. Kevin Horan. Again, guys, these are all people I met at the bash. But of course, I've known Kevin Horan for a couple years now, but got to see him again at the bash. John Perkins, I've known. I just met Aaron at ARPM. Shane, of course, we all know, guys. Smash that thumbs up button for Shane. We are going to get into the news here in a second because, believe it or not, Amber and I actually agree on something here, which is not often that happens. And I asked her just randomly about it last night, I think it was. I said, "Hey, what do you think about the C8 Corvette ZR1 wing? Like, what do you think about it?" And what did you say?
I just think it's too big. It's too wide.
So, believe it or not, I'm a big wing kind of guy. I kind of think the C8 ZR1 wing might be too big. Now, I was actually talking to Darren Burnett, if he's in here. We were talking about this the other night on the Instagram chat, and he felt the same way. And it was like, if Chevy does something, which of course it is possible that they will, if Chevy does something that kind of counteracts the giganticness of the wing in the front end by making the splitter bigger, the dive planes bigger, more pronounced, whatever the case may be, then the big wing makes sense. But if they just throw that big wing onto what we have now with the C8 Z06, in my opinion, it's too big. And I really never thought I'd say that because I like the big wings on cars. Obviously, the C7 ZR1's got a gigantic wing. My C8 Z06 has a pretty big wing. But the C8 ZR1, it just seems too big. So Texas Clay said he thought the C7 ZR1 was too big, and I can see why you would, but after owning the car and I know the functionality of it and everything, I don't think that anymore, but I did at one point as well. So that's why I'm kind of not, I'm not going to make this a giant thing because odds are very good the C8 ZR1 spoiler would grow on me as well. But it just, from first glance, it seems it's very large.
How much bigger do you really think it is than the ZR1 wing you have now from factory? It just seems like it's wider.
Well, it's wider. I mean, it's, if you're looking down at the side of the car, it's wider. And then on the back side, it's also wider. The
Okay.
end caps are a lot bigger. So overall, I mean, it's definitely a bigger wing than the C701.
DBM and Brandon's garage are on.
2020 Matrix 8 says, "What's up, Shane, Amber, John, Kevin, DBM, the General, and all the other peeps."
Everybody.
What's up, everybody? How you doing, Jeremy? We got the first super chat of the night. Comes from Josh. Look at that.
I like the hippo.
Little hippo doing some spinning.
No, it's doing some exercise.
Spinning ain't winning, Josh. You know that. You know that. But he donates $5, guys. Josh, always great friend. Throwing me $5. It's gonna help with gas. Maybe a gallon.
A gallon?
1 gallon of gas.
That $5 is gonna get you out of the driveway.
Let's see. Track car equals huge wing. Look at the Ford GTT. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, if you want something specific for the track, I get it. You want that gigantic wing, and that's what made the C7 ZR1 so good. But I mean, there's got to be I know there's a law of diminishing returns on this, and it's like, how big do you really need this to be? I mean, the C7 ZR1, just like we were already saying here, might be too big already, and that wing's like, I don't know, a little more than half the size of the C8 ZR1 wing. It's the C8 ZR1 is a lot bigger.
So Michael McCurry says he likes the new wing for the SR
Stingray.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, Michael McCurry, I agree. So I actually put out a video recently about that because I think the wing is perfect. I never really loved the Z51 spoiler, the original one. I always liked the high wing for the C8. Now the Z51 spoiler is basically a high wing cut in half. It literally looks identical to the high wing, just not as tall.
Is Derek on here? I
Yeah,
guess
he
we didn't
was.
let him know. Thank you again for the chocolate chip cookies. We devoured those.
Yeah. I did see his
You
name
did
on here
see
for
him?
a second. I didn't see what he said though. See if I can find it. There it is. Justin, I'll get in touch with you soon on the PPF treatment. Yeah. So Derek, obviously we want to take care of you. So let me know as soon as you pick up that car, and
He
we'll talk.
doesn't he get his car this month? I think he said May.
I think it's pretty soon. Yeah. Guys, we're at 75 thumbs up currently. Let's smash that thumbs up. Let's get to 100 here real soon. It would be really cool if we could hit 200 by the time this is all said and done. We got 100, almost 160 people watching. If you guys all hit the thumbs up, we'd have 160 thumbs ups. It'd be really cool.
LT4 powered. You're crazy. It's not the size of the wing, it's how you use it.
So, with that
Oh,
said,
that's funny. Listen, David, DBM Racing says, ask the Honda Civic guys. Wings are never too big.
yeah, well,
It's funny,
that's
but we saw it on an Acura the other day.
yeah,
A big wing on an Acura the other day.
it's funny because they gave those guys gave the big wing thing such a negative feeling in the automotive industry that once they did put a big wing on the ZR1, that's what everybody said. They were like, "Oh, it's a Honda Civic." Meanwhile, this car actually has a functional high wing. Like the wings on a Honda Civic, you can't put too much downforce on a front wheel drive car from the rear.
John Perkins digs the wing, he said. He still likes the high wing. I like the high wing too. I think it's just too wide. If they would maybe make it a little bit more narrow.
Where did you say that? Did you say high wing?
Yes, he still likes the high wing.
So the high wing for the he's talking about for the Stingray, the high wing option. That yeah, I still prefer that. That's where I would still go. But when you buy the car, if you don't opt for the high wing right off the bat, if you just get the Z51 wing now, it is the same thing as the high wing, only cut in half, so it's not as tall. So if you were to unbolt that, you'd be able to bolt the high wing right on, just like you could with the other Z51 wing. But if you didn't want to go as high, the Z51 wing is a pretty good option now.
So he's talking about the Z07 package, is what he's referring to, right?
No, Stingray.
The Stingray. Okay.
Matt Hurley says, I take offense, DBM. My Civic has no wing and it never will. Yeah, you know what's funny though, David, Matt Hurley has like a super duper clean Honda Civic, like the cleanest Civic you'll ever see. Basically, all of Matt Hurley's cars are like the cleanest examples of that particular car that you're ever going to find.
I bet they're all garage kept too.
Oh, they definitely are.
He has a garage similar to Josh.
He has a bunch of pictures of his garage on Instagram.
Yeah,
it's an amazing garage.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, DBM Racing just posted a video today of the E-Ray doing 0 to 60. He's done a, is this the third one, David? I think 3 different E-Rays, all Draggy verified, and the results are going to hurt some feelings. So go check out his channel. Check out that video.
DZ rides. D Anthony's in the house. Hey D.
Yep, these rides. I'm a big wing guy for sure. However, that C8 ZR1, yeah, that's the thing. D. Anthony obviously used to have a C7 ZR1 as well, just like I do. I love that car. I love the wing. I think it's perfectly fitting for the size of the car and everything. It almost looks too big on the C8 ZR1. Now, again, we haven't seen the final result yet, so Chevy could make the front splitter bigger, something on the car bigger to kind of balance out the car. But if you just take the wing by itself and throw it on a Z06, I think it looks a little bit too big. Now, there's a chance that the reason it's so big is because it's got some sort of active component to it. And if that's the case, I fully understand. I'm just saying this is just kind of a high overview. I think it's too big.
That's a good question. Shane says, do you know what Civic Matt Hurley has? Is it a Type R?
No, it's an older one.
Okay.
So Matt Hurley, if you want to let us know exactly what model Honda Civic you have, Shane's asking about it.
Oh, so somebody's asking about the hysteria color.
Yeah, blue vet.
I didn't dig it. I didn't dig it.
No, you didn't see it.
Isn't that the hysteria purple that we saw?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I did.
Okay.
I was.
Oh, that's right. You were the one that said you didn't like it. Yeah.
I mean, I like the metallic part of it, but it's not really truly purple.
It has a lot of blue in it. So if you're okay, Shane said it best. Shane called it a safe purple, and that's what it is. GM went with a purple that isn't going to offend anybody, basically. they should have gone balls to the wall and just given us a Lamborghini purple because it would have been perfect for this car. 95 thumbs ups currently, guys. Smash that thumbs up. Let's get it done. Shane wants it. Shane wants it. He could taste it.
So I have a question for you. If the ZR1 comes out and they do eventually come out with a green, like a blackout tinning green, would you do green or would you do purple?
I'd probably be more apt to do green than purple,
Yeah,
but
same.
that like lizard green or Verde Ithaca,
Yeah.
it's that's a hard green to pass up on any car, especially a car that looks like the C8 that has such a exotic look as it is. But Matt Hurley says he has a 98 EX 5-speed with 39,000 miles OEM plus JDM build. I had a bunch when I was younger, but none of them were nice. Found this one on Bring a Trailer and then modded it tastefully. That sounds nice. 39,000 miles on a car that's kind of old.
26 years old.
Yeah. Nightfall says I asked in the Discord but haven't seen an answer. Is it safe to run E30 in a C7 C8 with no tune? Saw a video saying, do you have a I can't remember the name of the company that makes that now. The E85 adapter controller for the fuel line? That's a good question though. I think you need a tune to really get any kind of gain from that. I don't think the car's going to run real well without a tune on that.
Krypton green, hanging with Shane.
Krypton green's a good one too. That was another one that I don't understand why GM didn't make that longer. That was on the Camaro, and I saw a few Camaro ZL1s in Krypton green. They were freaking nice. So that Corvette guy, we actually confirmed in the plant tour that they are in fact removing ceramic matrix gray for the purple color, and then obviously Amplify orange is going to become Sebring orange again, and then Accelerate yellow for the new competition yellow. So that's going to be all they're removing from what I understand.
What did they say? What's the total colors that they can have for? Is it 8 or 10?
No, it's more. I think it's 12 or 14 now.
12 or 14 colors.
BPR Z06 says habanero interior. Is it hot? I actually had a picture of it. Let me see if I can find this again. I had a picture of that. Here it is. See if I can put that in here real quick. I don't know if you guys have seen Habanero, the interior yet. I think the name's hilarious because it's obviously, you know, insinuating that it's a hot interior, but I'll kind of show you guys, see what you think about it.
It almost looks like a little bit of red and orange.
That's exactly what it is. It's more orange than red. So if you guys were looking, I know a bunch of people out there that were looking for an orange interior whenever they were ordering their 23 Z06s, and it sucks because obviously Chevy heard you, but didn't do anything for the guys that were actually ordering the
Do you
23.
think that would look good with the Sebring orange color?
It might.
Would it clash
I think
with
it might
these
be
two?
too much, and it might be a little darker than the Sebring too. So
Well, there's people that get red cars and do that dipped interior.
yeah.
The red dipped interior.
Oh, I'm not saying no one's going to do it because
Yeah.
I've seen some of the craziest combinations of colors out there, but yeah. So this is the habanero interior color. Let me see if I can make that any bigger.
I think it looks good with mixed with black.
That's too
I think
big.
if it was straight habanero interior, I don't think it would look great.
Okay. It's either
That's
small or gigantic. I'm not sure.
That's the best we're gonna get.
Yeah, so it's basically orange and it's a reddish orange, we'll call it. So I could see that color. I could see that color in silver flare, and that honestly that's only because of Matt Hurley. Whenever he had his car, he had a silver flare car with a red dipped interior, and red dip doesn't look good on many colors. I think black and silver red dip look really good on.
That was his first red. That was his first Z06, and then he got.
Right, the first Z06 with silver flare.
Was it red mist?
That was black.
Or was black?
Black, yeah. Let's see. So
somebody asked if you like Rob's color.
Yeah, I saw that.
I do like.
I'm gonna come back to that. Justin, do you think GM will come out with heritage colors like Dodge? I doubt it. Um,
Dodge does have the best colors though.
Dodge,
Their colors are
say what you
nice.
will about Dodge and Chrysler stuff in general. They seem like they actually listen to their users, which is really odd because, like, if you remember when the Hellcat first came out, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's fast in a straight line, but it can't turn. It's not. It's got these skinny little tires on it. It can't turn." And then they brought out the Red Eye with real wide tires. It still really couldn't turn very well, but they at least listened and they gave you wider tires and a wider body. Then people were complaining about the colors, and now we get some really cool colors. The only thing that they haven't really done, they kind of took away, was the manual transmission option, but they do seem like they listen more than GM does. GM doesn't really seem like they're paying a lot of attention. Silver flare is underrated, IMO. Yeah, I agree. Silver in general,
Silver, it looks. I think the carbon flash or the carbon fiber, whatever you pick, looks good with the silver flare.
it does.
The black accents.
Carbon fiber, in my opinion, looks the best on a silver car or like a gray car. I think carbon fiber just looks really good on that color in particular. But when you do silver flare right, if you buy a silver flare car and don't do anything special with it, like if you just go with a all black interior, black calipers, it's kind of boring in my opinion. But if you do silver flare with a red dipped interior, the way Matt Hurley did, red calipers, you lower it down, you make it stance nice. It's beautiful. I mean, you really can't get a bad color on the C8 Corvette in general. Well, maybe caffeine. I'm not a fan of caffeine at all, so I don't want to offend anybody in the comment section. If you guys have a caffeine, that's totally your choice.
Yeah,
But
that's why
I'm just not a fan of caffeine at all.
that's why there's a lot of colors to pick from. Everybody has a different personality, so there's lots of tastes out there, and pick what you like. Who cares what everybody else thinks?
Exactly.
Doesn't matter. They're not paying your car
Plus
payment.
you can also wrap it if you chose something
Right.
poor.
I know. I wish you would have. Well, we can't really talk. All of our cars are still black.
Right?
Even my new one, which is coming.
Yeah, guys. So
It is.
we're gonna be talking about her new car here probably shortly, but we got 105 thumbs ups. That's good. We got about 200 people in here watching, so we should have 200 thumbs ups. Guys, if you could please smash the thumbs up. We're still 2 minutes from 8, so we did hit that goal. Now let's hit the other one, and that's 200 by 8:30.
I think we should put the creepy thumbs up on that.
Oh, everybody loves this thumbs.
No,
This one?
I don't really like it.
Everybody loves that. You guys like that? Somebody asked me at the bash. Who was it that asked me at the bash if those were my thumbs?
Yeah.
If I actually made a video of my thumbs, I was like, no, those aren't my
I don't
thumbs.
remember who it was.
Somebody did ask me that. That was funny. Yeah, Shane says it best. Let's get those thumbs ups, guys. TB ZR1. So yeah, let's start getting into some ZR1 content here. He says, Justin, what's your guess as to what the meaning of the unthinkable is coming? So, number one, the big thing to remember here is we already kind of know that the car is going to be a twin turbocharged car. There's been every single leak that we've seen has shown that a twin turbo is coming. So this car is going to be a twin turbo. That means this is going to be the first Corvette ever to be twin turboed from factory. So that's the unthinkable. Alongside with, there's been rumors that, and this is not super unthinkable, but the 345 width tires in the rear on the Z06, a lot of people are speculating that GM's going to bump that up to 355, which then will again be the widest tire ever on a production Corvette. So right there, you got two things that are going to be special, specific to the ZR1. Outside of that, it is possible, and I've heard some whisperings of this, but I really don't see this happening. All wheel steering. I really don't think that's going to be a thing. I don't think that's going to happen, but people are starting to speculate on it because the GT3, I think it was a GT3 RS, maybe the GT3, one of the two, has all-wheel steering, and Chevy obviously wants to get into that same kind of category. So it is possible that we would get all-wheel steering, but I think it's more likely that it's going to be something like Active Aero. So we're going to have three things kind of special to the ZR1. It's going to be a slightly wider rear tire, twin turbocharged for the first time ever, and the Active Aero possibly on the rear spoiler, at least on the rear spoiler. That again, talking about the rear spoiler being so massive, that has to be why. It has to, because other than that, I just don't see a reason for that wing to be so freaking big.
Robin Hillary on also.
Matt Hurley says, I agree with Justin. The unthinkable is the fact that it will be the first twin turbo Corvette and it will be the highest horsepower Corvette ever made. Yeah. And that's Chevy, of course, gets to tout that every single time they make a new Corvette. This is the first for this, and this is the first for that. So they kind of play on the unthinkable stuff a little bit. You guys are probably thinking a lot bigger than GM is with the word unthinkable. It really could be anything. It could be the first time that Chevy decided to make a purple ZR1. Like it literally could be they're going to come out with all this list of firsts that aren't really that big of a deal. Yeah, they're probably talking about the horsepower because it is rumored to be 850 horsepower, which is again the most horsepower that's ever been in a Corvette. 100, it's only 95 technically more horsepower than the C7 ZR1, but nonetheless, it is the most ever to be in a Corvette. Yeah, BPR Z06 says he's going to lower the Z06, which I think is pretty cool. You're going to love the car. You're going to fall in love with it all over again once you lower it. Yeah. So J Murph says 355 wide tires is Viper, Aventador, Bugatti territory. It is, and that's that's the thing. Is like with a 345 width tire, those things are already like unbelievably massive, and you're going to add, it's going to be even bigger.
Before we keep going with the comments, you should touch upon your show that you're having. Not this coming
Right.
weekend, but the following weekend.
Right. So again, guys, May 18th. If you would like to meet up, if you'd like to bring your car out, I have a car show that I'm putting on. It's called Horsepower and Pizza because that's basically what's going on. So you're going to get a little bit of both. There's obviously going to be a bunch of cars there. There's also going to be some pizza there. So I think if you guys are interested in meeting up, showing off your car a little bit, getting some pizza, you should come out, say hi. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have a lot of people there because as of right now, I think almost 1,000 people have responded. So if you guys want to come out and hang out, this is the information right here. Horsepower and Pizza, it's happening down at Blackout Tinning in Gibsonia, Pennsylvania. So it's not too far from where I actually live. If you guys are familiar with the area, if you're near Pittsburgh, if you're in Ohio, anything like that, it's not too far of a drive. So come out, say hi, hang out a little bit, get some pizza. It's May 18th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and a rain date of the following day, same time. So if it were to rain on the 18th, we'll have it on the 19th instead. But yeah, you guys should definitely come out if you want to hang out, see some cool cars. Like I said,
$5 entry fee gets you 2 pieces of pizza and a drink.
and J Big Trust says where. The address is right there at the very bottom. Blackout Tinning, 4361 Gibsonia Road. It's in Gibsonia, Pennsylvania. So yeah, guys, if you, like I said, you can always shoot me an email if you have any questions about it. horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com. I'd love to see all of you there. But we do have a special guest in the comment section today, and isn't it Protective Dad Pranks? So Steve is in the house, guys. Hello to all, he says. And I'll let you read the rest
What's up,
of it.
Steve?
I don't want to put it on the screen, but thanks for tuning in, Steve. We were talking a little bit about the ZR1, and actually, Steve, I'm going to ask your opinion because me and Amber have our opinion kind of going here. You've seen the C8 Corvette ZR1 wing. Amber and I both think as it's
Tell him. So let's see what he thinks first.
okay. Yeah, what do you think of the wing, Steve? Do you like it? Do you think it's too big, too small, just right? What are your thoughts on it?
So he's only saw it via picture. He's never seen it in person, right?
Correct, and that's a big thing because in pictures it does it looks better to me, but in person, and again, I don't want to make it sound like I didn't like it because I do like it. I just think it's a hair too big.
I guess it just depends upon what type of accents, what type of wheels,
It does.
because it might look good
If they made the front
like
end bigger somehow to compensate for the rear, it will. And they did that with the C7 ZR1. It had a bigger front splitter. The whole front end was wider. Then they put a bigger wing on the back.
I can't remember that guy's name. Paragon Performance did 2 of his cars, the white Z06.
It's Steven.
Yeah, Steven. Hey, I like his white one over the red one.
Well, the white one is the one with the ZR1 wing.
Yeah, I know, but the minus, I would put like a different wing on it though. That's all.
Well, he had this Z07 wing at some point. So Steve says, "Go big or go home." Again, obviously,
Fair.
I'm a big fan of the C7 ZR1, but Steve, I'm gonna get your opinion again after you see it in person
He
because
said it looks a little wide.
in person it is significantly larger than what you're seeing on picture. Like it is a massive wing.
Brandon's garage is actually right. If the big wing matched a bigger front arrow splitter
That's what I've
wing,
been saying.
that's what it would look good.
Because if you look at the C7 Z06, it had a splitter in the front and a fairly small little spoiler in the back. To make that wing in the back bigger with the C7 ZR1, they had to put a bigger diffuser on the front or a bigger splitter on the front, if for no other reason for aerodynamic purposes, but also to balance it out.
So Jay Murph wants to see. Do you have a picture of Steve's? Do you have a picture of that car?
I do, but I don't have a picture
Oh.
from the perspective that's
Do
going to
I,
make sense.
do I maybe have it?
It is really wide. It would look like I said, it would look better with bigger front arrow.
Let me see if I have a picture of it.
Murph, we're trying to find one, so just bear with us a second. Bruno says Gibsonia PA is a 5.5 hour drive for him from New Jersey, debating only because of the pizza
I
and
have
friends,
it,
of course.
but it was the Skittles picture, and
No,
you can't see the
yeah,
wing. Yeah.
Bruno, I'd love to see you there. I understand it's a far drive, but if you can make it, I'd love to see you there.
Actually, you know what? If you go to probably
RP Waterman, she already got it, but we haven't discussed it yet.
Paragon Performance's Instagram, I bet it's on there.
Yeah, it
Pull
might
up
be.
their Instagram.
It might be. Let's take a look here.
Oh, that's nice. It's a nice lamp.
All right, so it's not.
It's not on there.
Nope. So
Ouch. What about Steve's? What about his channel?
not on there.
It's not on there either.
So
Ouch.
anyway, we got 125 thumbs ups currently. DVM says if that wing is wider than the rear of my car, it won't fit in the garage. I think it is. From the backside pictures. Actually, you know what? I saw one. We have one here. Yeah. So this is a pretty good shot, and we're going to talk about this obviously in a second, but this is a good shot of what that rear wing actually looks like. So you can see, David, that wing hangs off the side. If your car won't fit currently, you're going to catch that wing pulling into your garage.
Cars and Airplanes just sent you an email. He took a picture of it. It's in his camera roll.
You know, you might have to learn to parallel park that car in the garage. Yeah. Break out the Sawzall. There's Aaron Burnett. So he says something about the width, depth, and wide plates, not necessarily the overall height. Yeah. Yeah, that's ultimately what I'm saying. Like height wise, it's about the same as the C7 ZR1, and that's fine for me. But
So
yeah, that's a good idea actually. Let's do a poll. Start a poll. Is the C8 ZR1 wing too big? So when I say big, I don't mean just tall. I mean overall, is it too big? So here's the poll going now, guys.
he said it.
Shane says we got 132 thumbs ups currently. That's pretty good. Pretty good. We got 20 more minutes to get 68 more. So guys, smash the thumbs up if you can. It really helps. Really, really helps. I know I tell you guys that all the time, but it really does. Gordon says, I agree with what Justin is saying. David, time for bigger garage. Yep. There you go. Yeah. J Murph says, oh, dang, those corners are going to snag some shirts walking by. Yeah, right. I mean, those things are going to be like, yeah, right, right. Oh, wow. Okay. This is a good picture here. So,
That's a really good picture.
we just got some pictures of the wing here. Now, again, guys, I want to clarify here. I'm not saying I don't like this. I'm just saying I think it might be too big. Now, if GM fixes the front splitter and adds more girth to that somehow, it's going to balance it all out. It'll be fine. But for the time being, it looks too big. So check this out. We just got this picture from Cars and Airplanes. Just sent this. And I mean, even from this perspective, you could see that is just really, really, really large.
It doesn't show.
No, it doesn't. The other picture of the spy shots do. So
That's a really nice
Well, Steve says it sucks that it's not active arrow. We don't actually know if it is yet or not. Now, this is not GM stock GM. This is from AG Motorsports, so we don't know if GM is going to be playing with active arrow on this or not. Stephen Risha says, looking forward to the car show, Justin. Busiest month of the year for landscaping, but I'm taking that day off just for it. I might just work before I come, LOL. Thanks, Stephen. I appreciate that. Always a good time talking to you. So I'll definitely, I'm excited to see you there. Yeah, Kevin Horan. Yeah, Kevin Horan's hopefully going to bring his entire Corvette club with him. Bill Miller will be there. Uh, John will be there too. Right. Well, no, this John. I don't want to butcher his last name, but I've met him a couple times. John Perkins is not coming. Uh, John says Justin was never a big wing fan until I started hanging out with you. Would like to do a medium wing on our C7. It's on the list. Okay. Michael McCurry says, "Don't worry about it. It's not going to matter anyway because it's going to be on constraint." And he's probably he is definitely right. Yeah, yeah. Uh, well, it has it now. Steve says it will look too big on different colors. Black can hide it. And yeah, that's very true. So we're looking at white here, which is obviously, actually, that's the 70th anniversary pearl, I believe. But either way, it's basically white. And it makes anything that's darker color pop even more so than it would on a regular, like, or on a black car. So Steve is right on that front. But I mean, I don't know. Mr. T says that wing is too low. He wants one that's 13 stories tall. Oh yeah, yeah. They haven't said yet, but it's going to be massive for sure. We should be good now. Thanks for bringing that to my attention, Shane. You're always the man.
They just missed my 45 minutes of awesomeness.
Yeah, 45 minutes. That wing may take off a limb. Never mind catching a shirt. Yeah, it's going to be rough. All right, you should be able to hear Amber now. Say something, Amber.
No, I think they can hear me now.
Okay.
They said my audio is messed up.
Yeah, this is delayed though, so I'm sure it's fixed now. It looks like it. See, did we get any other pictures?
I really still can't hear me. Well, maybe I should just go and have my dinner then.
All right, so
oh god, this is the audio Justin used on Steve and Jason. That time where it was like, ooh.
They better not be doing that. I better turn this up and check now. I'm sure it's fixed now. No, it's fixed. Yeah.
They're just messing with us.
I was gonna say. Yes, NBA Live Awesomeness. I am gonna show that, and that's the thing is oh, look at Steve. Steve's flirting with my wife. He says Amber's perfect.
I'm definitely not perfect. but Steve,
you don't know her well enough, man.
Yeah, but Steve would appreciate my new car because his wife was checking one out too.
Steve knows what the car is, but
okay.
we're not discussing it yet.
Leaving it out. So
yeah,
don't say anything.
Don't say anything yet.
Did you hear me now? Don't say anything.
Kevin said for you to stay. Yeah. Okay. All right. 147 thumbs ups currently, guys. Michael, we don't know the downforce numbers, unfortunately. GM hasn't put them out, and AGM, from what I understand, AG Motorsports was actually working on getting us some downforce numbers, but until GM officially puts the wing out, we won't hear them from GM. So I can only imagine it's going to be more than the C8 Z06, and the C8 Z06 already claims more downforce than the C7 ZR1 with the Z07 package. So the C8 ZR1 is going to have to be over 1,000 pounds of downforce.
So AARPM, we're going to have to start planning the car lot crew. That's going to work. We've already started, but we're really going to get on it once his car show is over next weekend.
Yeah.
I always liked Elijah, but now he says to give me the C7 ZR1. He won't even let me pull it out of the garage, Elijah. I mean, like, I don't know how he'd ever give it to me.
If it wasn't a manual transmission car, it would be different. Every time she gets in it, she doesn't fully know how to drive a stick yet. It's going to be a problem. C8 ZR1 will make 2,000 pounds of down. If it makes 2,000 pounds, take everything I've said about this wing and forget it, because 2,000 pounds is absolutely worth it.
The ZR1 isn't even here. It's at
Yeah.
Josh's shop.
Steve Robertson says if you use the rear camera for backing up, you're going to back that wing into wall. And that's the thing, is the wing actually does, like, if this is the rear bumper, the wing like sticks off of the rear bumper like this. So you would hit the wing before hitting the rear bumper for sure.
Bruno, what would you say if I really said that's what I actually got was a Prius with a giant wing?
Wait, how did you know that?
How did he know? Did you tell him?
Uh-uh.
Oh, jeez. And that thing is fast.
Yeah, Gregory, this is kind of what I'm thinking too. We haven't seen the car from GM yet, so there's no way to know that they're not going to beef up the front splitter or something to kind of balance out the car. He's saying that this wing is not made for a Z06, just like the Z06 wing is too big for a Stingray. And he's right, 100%. So, well, maybe partially right, because if we look at the wing in the spy shots here, that wing is pretty massive, and that's on the back of a ZR1. That's not on a Stingray. That wing is really, really large. Let's see, can I zoom in on this at all?
Not great, but yeah.
How about that? That wing is really big. What do you guys think of that? I mean, it is literally sticking outside of the body of the car.
Would that fit in our garage? Because the six right now is already, you asked me, oh my good, pulling it.
Well, the dive plane's in the front.
Yeah.
You could easily rip those things off on the side of a garage wall. So, I mean, yeah, you hit that spoiler, it's going to do the same thing. It's just going to crunch everything up.
Crunch it up. There's some good questions up at the top.
Ronald, was there any news on Tadge's replacement? No. So I talked to Tadge for probably about 10 minutes. I videoed like maybe a minute and a half of it. But I told him right off the bat that, you know, some people were a little bit scared that he was leaving, and he said that they shouldn't be, because, you know, his replacement's going to be just as good as he was replacing the previous guy there for Corvette. So he's pretty confident that nothing massive is going to change. But he has nobody's been named yet. No.
Rattle Trap Fox, you're just worried she can drive a stick better than you.
That's exactly it.
About that?
Uh-huh.
No, you're really good. There's no way I would even if I was good, I could probably still never compare to you.
Kimberly, D's Ride said Kimberly had driven his ZR1 a few times, but she did pretty good, but she has also driven and owned manual cars in the past.
Yeah, see, I've never owned any manual cars. I was just going to get a little beater manual car just to drive it around.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best way to learn. You don't want to learn to drive a manual transmission on a C7 ZR1.
True.
AARPM says, does that look like the same mounting points? It seems a little wider stance for the posts. It's pretty close. It could possibly be slightly wider. And honestly, if GM wants to play that game, which wouldn't surprise me if they did, just so you couldn't take that wing and put it on a Z06, they would make it just a hair wider. But at the same time, that would cost them a lot of money in the long run by moving the mounts and stuff out from where the Z06 is at. So I'd be surprised if it's not the same. J.R. Griffith says 4 to 6 inches past the body. It could be that much. I can't tell. That picture is kind of hard to tell because it's kind of almost hard to see exactly where the lines of that car and where the spoiler are, but I don't know. It could be. And if it's 4 to 6 inches, I mean, that I almost feel like that's going to end up being some sort of transportation problem, like to have something sticking out that far. And yeah, Larry Anthony says that wing looks like it could actually lift 2,000 pounds. I'm not sure. Someone said 2,000 pounds of downforce. I don't know if that's true or not, but based on the size of that wing, I could see it doing it. 11-second Eclipse, man after my own heart here. He says, all my cars are manual except the new Z06. I always chose a manual transmission car up until not having a choice.
Brandon's Garage says Beth drove him to and from the bash while he slept. Justin, I've been in the driver's seat one time, and that was the time we made the video.
Well, you know what's funny, Brandon? I don't know how it's possible that, number one, that you could sleep in a C8 Corvette at all, because those seats barely recline. But number two, you're sleeping in the car that you have that has no catalytic converters.
It's loud.
It's very loud.
Yeah.
And you're sleeping. Maybe your drive was a little different than ours, but my drive home was nothing but construction zones with bumps that were so hellacious that the entire car felt like it was falling apart. There's no way I would have been able to fall
I'm
asleep.
sure Beth wasn't driving like you were in Mexico
That,
either.
that might be true.
So
Yeah, River Mutt says you're gonna have to hang a wide load sign on it.
you're gonna have to have a car follow you with a wide load sign
Yeah.
on the back.
All right, guys. So we have over 200 people in here right now. If all of you guys smash the thumbs up button, we will have our 200 thumbs ups before 8:30. So smash the thumbs up, guys. It really helps.
National Corvette Museum Insurance. Don't forget to
Check the link in the description.
check the link in the description. And on step 5, how did you hear about us? Make sure you put in there horsepower obsessed. So that's very important. If you don't get anything from today's takeaway, make sure the step 5 is horsepower obsessed if you get a quote from the Corvette Museum.
TB ZR1 says, yeah, it looks like an airplane wing the way it sticks out past the sides of the car. Yeah, it does. Rob told me he also slept in his Z06 and also had the treatment of you with construction zones.
Yeah, those construction zones were not great. Especially, there was some really big drop-offs at some points. If you weren't paying attention and you hit them, you definitely came back with a cracked rim.
Yeah, so
it was rough.
Apparently you guys are just able to fall asleep a lot easier than I can, I guess. I don't know. There you go. Hanging with Shane says it. Marker lights on the end winglets, just like the Ram TRX. You have to have those 3 little lights in the hood because the thing's so freaking wide. You got this massive spoiler in the back. You got to put the 3 marker lights on it, so
marker
it's
lights
legal.
Would be terrible idea.
If it's a certain width, it literally has to have it.
Is that why
it's legal? It's a legal thing.
Is that why your TRX has those 3 lights at the
top? Yeah, because it has to if it's over a certain width.
That thing, I could drive that thing like it's smooth as butter. The TRX, I don't have.
Oh yeah, the TRX is very
so easy to
very easy to drive. I was surprised how easy it was to sleep in the Z. You guys must have a way easier time falling asleep than I do, because I wouldn't be able to fall asleep in that car for a multitude of reasons. The loud, actually, mine's not that loud. Especially if you close the baffles, it's like.
You hear the dog jump off the bed at night.
Yeah. I'm a light sleeper.
3 sheets to the wind. I don't hear it.
You are now. She's almost threw her glass of apple juice over here.
Yeah. Refills at 9 o'clock.
Guys, we're at 160. We got actually, what do we got left? Oh, we got 11 minutes left technically because we started a little bit late. So 160. We can easily hit 40 more, and we got 210 people in here watching. Smash that thumbs up, guys.
This is good live tonight.
It's a real good.
10 people. So let's think. 210 people. That means we should at least have 206 thumbs ups. Right?
208.
The 206.
Kevin Horan says he slept as well. You guys are. I don't get it. I don't get it. Unless you're taking some sort of pills to fall asleep.
My wife fell asleep at the F1 race yesterday. That is so loud.
Turn 1.
How did that happen?
Oh yeah, how'd that work out for you?
It's so loud.
How'd that work out for you parking at the shop? Was that good for you? Yeah, General Lee says maybe GM is using a Z06 body to throw us off. I have a different front to complement the huge. I may have a different front. Really? Okay. I don't think GM's necessarily doing it to throw us off per se, but I do think there's some different things coming.
Mr. T wants to talk track vids now.
Track.
Do we have anything about?
Oh yeah. You know what? That was the biggest thing I wanted to address today. So,
hey, thanks, Mr. T, for getting us back on track.
Yeah.
He's got sideswiped.
I get sidetracked all the time in these live videos. But guys, so there is a YouTuber out there that has taken a C8 Corvette Z06 over to the Nurburgring. He's done what GM couldn't freaking do for whatever reason. He took this car over to the Nurburgring. His name is Misha. I'm not going to pretend I understand how to pronounce the last name, but he took it over to the Nurburgring, and he's a really good driver. So he drives this car around with traffic and with weather conditions being an issue, still managed to get around a 7-minute and 20-second time. And he flat out says in his video that if it wasn't for the traffic and it wasn't for the weather, that this C8 Z06 is definitely a sub 7-minute car. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you this and make you believe me. I'm gonna let him tell you because
So
I
wait.
have the video pulled up here.
So he not only had to fly international. How do you even get on the Nurburgring just being an everyday person? Do you have to pay to be on there?
That's a great question. I don't
Well,
actually
how
have
do
the
you get
answers to
on there?
this.
They're not just going to let anybody on, I wouldn't think,
No.
right? Because if there's somebody else, Ford testing a car or Chevy's
Well,
testing a car,
it's an open track, so you
well,
could get on there relatively easily, but
I'm sure not for free.
odds are very good he's already. Yeah, he was also in traffic, but I'm pretty sure he's from over on that side
Plus,
of
he
the
has a
world.
million subscribers too, so that probably helped him.
It was during an open track day though, so other cars were
Okay.
there. And that's the thing is the big thing is that there were other cars there, and he still managed to run 7 minutes and 20 seconds with this car. So he says in the video, without the traffic and without the weather, sub 7 minute car.
Hmm.
And I said that from the very beginning when this car first came out, and it was a flat plane crank, and we saw some of the even under the camo shots of the extra aero that this car was going to have. I just felt like it has to be a sub 7 minute car. The way that thing screams, it has to be. And I believe with this man and his driving capabilities, I believe he's right whenever he says it's a sub 7 minute car.
Oh,
I bet you eventually he's going to prove it.
so
Yeah,
the
he was
biggest
a
thing,
previous
yeah.
professional race car driver. Yeah, I didn't know if he had any actual experience in the past, but I mean like professional experience, but I knew he was obviously a very experienced driver. So, oh, okay. So Steven's actually on here. He sent me another picture, and let's take a look at that real quick.
Oh my God, that
Yeah,
looks
see
nice.
that
I
angle,
love those. I love and Shane
that
also.
angle actually looks way better for the ZR1 wing. So, and that's the thing. It's like that's why I don't want to say I don't like it, but at the same time, certain angles, like that angle that
It looks good.
that Cars and Airplanes, I think it was, just sent me, that one looked a lot bigger than that angle looks
That
good.
looks good. I like
So,
that red ring around the 70th anniversary too. Shane also has it. I think that's.
no, he doesn't.
Doesn't Shane have the red ring around
Like,
his?
he did, but he took it off.
Oh, I know one of the pictures he sent. He still had it on.
Hey, HBO crew, Jane, have to get off. Wife needs me to fix something. See you next week. Thanks for tuning in, Steve.
Yeah, good cop out, Steve. She needs you to fix something.
You better go fix it for her. You know what I mean? Fix it good, Steve.
See ya. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for stopping in, Steve. Sub 7 makes sense if you compare how the Z06 stacks against the 992 GT3 on American tracks like VIR. Yep. At first, Misha didn't think it would make it on the Nürburgring, but he changed his mind post drive. Yeah, and you're very right. So the Z06 stacks up really nicely on smaller tracks with the GT3. The GT3 only starts to cut ahead in tight turns, where the Z06 obviously makes up for it in the longer straights. So anyway, I want to play real quick. I'm going to only play a second of this video for you because I already have it kind of pulled up to the point where you're going to be able to hear exactly what he's saying. So here we go. This is where he says it's a sub 7 minute car.
Also, well, I mean, first lap on cold tires, first lap not knowing the car, and doing 720 in these conditions. Watching this back right now, I'm shooting an extra fragment because I'm actually kind of blown away by what the car is capable of. And it did not feel fast at all to me because it was just like so easy to drive. So without the traffic, me knowing the car maybe a bit better would have been an easy sub 7. Now,
so there it is. It would be an easy sub 7. Sub 7 minute car. Now, I know a lot of people aren't going to really realize how big of a deal that really is. If you own a C8 Corvette Z06, you own a sub 7 minute car at the Nürburgring. That's insane. So there's only a handful of sub 7 minute cars that I can even think of, and one of them is a Porsche GT2 RS. So think about how much that car costs compared to the C8 Z06. You're getting a car that can perform almost as well. I mean, we don't know exactly. He says it's a sub 7 minute car, but that could mean 6 minutes and 59 seconds. If it performs even close to the GT2 RS, it's just insane. Yeah, Brandon says he was passing M3s and M4s like they were standing still. I mean, this car is insanely capable. Now think what we're talking about with the C8 ZR1, of course, is this car plus more. So if the C8 Z06 is already doing sub 7 minutes on the Nurburgring, imagine what the ZR1's going to do, especially if it has active aero, especially if that big spoiler or big wing in the back is combined with a bigger front splitter that provides even more downforce. Now we have also another 150 horsepower, 100, a little more than that, over the Z06. Imagine what this thing's going to do on the Nürburgring.
Did you see Cars and Airplanes? Hey, Justin, I can't yet buy a C8. Should I get the $50 diecast and drive that? It's right there.
Well, if you could fit into a $50 diecast car, I mean, I would pay to
Do
see
it.
that. I'd pay to see that at least. Steven, thanks for tuning in, by the way. I appreciate you being in here. You have two obviously awesome cars, but just
I like his Wasson wheels. Those Wasson wheels are so freaking
they were nice.
Like really freaking nice.
Michael McCurry says, Justin, I need to trade my 24 HTC for a Z06. Again, I know we talk a lot about the Z06 on this channel. I want to make it clear, there is not a bad performance variant in the C8 lineup. You get a Stingray, a Z06, or the E-Ray, you are getting one heck of a car. It doesn't matter which one you're getting, which one you have, which one you own, which one you want. It doesn't matter. I always knew from the day I bought my C8 Stingray, I knew the Z06 was the one I wanted. So I was never going to keep the Stingray long term. I knew that right off the bat. The Z06 is always the best bang for the buck in any performance, any Corvette generation lineup. So I knew the C8 Z06 was the one I wanted. And honestly, when the C8 ZR1 comes out, you're going to be talking about significantly more money for a car that's going to perform slightly better. And that's why I say the C8 Z06 is always the best bang for the buck, because the price is always, you know, relatively affordable, and you're going to get ridiculous performance whenever the ZR1 will take it just a little bit more, but it's going to be a lot more expensive.
Is there a little piece of you that wants that C8 ZR1? Like,
oh yeah, there's a big piece of me that wants a ZR1.
Could you imagine having a C7 ZR1 and a C8 ZR1?
Yeah. I would love to have it, but the problem for me is, number one, I'm still torn on whether it's going to be a flat plane crank from what I'm hearing.
So if
I really want it to be a flat plane crank. That's my big thing.
If it is a flat plane crank, would you trade in your C8 Z06 for it? Or would you buy it in addition to?
No, I'd trade the Z.
You would trade it?
Yeah, I'd have to.
I mean,
yeah, Michael, they're I don't know if they're the same. GM actually claimed that the C8 Z06 was a little bit more. Yeah. Mr. T says, I drove on the ring many times, and sub 7 is flying. I lived in Switzerland for over a decade.
Freaking sweet.
I did not know that about you, Mr. T. It is. So sub 7, and I mean, that's the thing, is like people discount this all the time. They're like, oh, who cares what it will do on the Nürburgring? We don't drive on the Nürburgring. No, I get it. We don't. But if someone can put that car through its paces and get a sub 7 second or sub 7 minute time out of that, you got to realize that the car you have is that much more special.
I want to say 215 people watching right now. This may be the most we've had on a live with you and I.
No, we had this last time. It was me and you.
So we're doing good on thumbs up, so 177.
We should have over 200. If we got 215 people in here watching, guys, we should have over 200 thumbs ups. Let's see. I'm gonna end this poll now. So 133 votes. I say, is the ZR1 wing too big? 56% of you say yes. So roughly 50% of 130. I don't know, what is that? 65. So roughly 65 of you guys think that it's too big. That's actually pretty good, though. That's almost an even split. It's almost 50-50 that you guys think it's too big or it's not big enough, basically.
I think, though, but I think if you have a front splitter that's going to match it just like brings it all together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have a splitter that will match. Super
8, this is Joe Lamb, I think. He says, if the C8 ZR1 has all-wheel drive steering, yeah, definitely under 7 seconds. So if it has all-wheel steering, it should be under 7 minutes, because the C8 Z06 is now proven to be under 7 minutes. I mean, not proven, but basically proven. The person that was driving it was able to get 720 with traffic and all kinds of slowdowns on his drive. If you guys haven't checked that video out, by the way, you should. Really, really a good video showing a good driver driving a good car. Like that's basically what it is. Let's make those thumbs up match. Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome if we have 218 people watching, if we actually had 218 thumbs ups? 183 though. We're getting there. You guys are killing it tonight. Thank you so much. Justin, speaking of flat plane crank, doesn't the video clip of the camo car sound like a flat plane crank? It does. And it is the first time I have ever heard that ZR1 sound like a flat plane crank. Every other time I've heard it, guarantee it was a cross plane crank, but this one does sound like a flat plane. So now I'm wondering why that is. Why does it sound like a flat plane crank now when it never has before? Oh, okay. Michael Young says C7 ZR1 to 1,000 pounds at 217. C8 Z07 was at 186. Mass says they're both the same at 186. Okay. Makes sense. I got sick watching him drive. Yeah, and you will. And that's the thing. Whenever I was at Ron Fellows, when I rode along with the instructor who just absolutely carves that track, it can get sickening.
I couldn't do it.
It's pretty aggressive because I mean you're flopping around in the seat because you're not expecting the turns like he's making them. It can get sickening.
That time we went on Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
Do you remember all those, what was it, 17, I don't know, 18 miles or whatever?
Yeah.
I had to close my eyes
Yeah.
because you were a freaking animal. But
It
you
is
and Josh,
It is so fun to take
you
turns
guys
like
are
that.
animals.
Uh,
Jeez.
no, and that's the thing. Bill Miller, he says, can you imagine doing a four-wheel alignment on a four-wheel steering car? No, because I can't even get an alignment done on a two-wheel steering car because Chevy and everyone else I go to has no idea how to adjust a rear caster on a C7 or a C8.
Or if they do, you got to go to Maryland, but they scratch up your rims. So now you got your casters maybe okay, but now you got scratched rims. So it's kind of like a thank you, you know?
Hillary and I are headed to Ron Fellows in August. Yep, I remember we were talking about that. Thanks for tuning in again, man. It's nice to see you guys. Again, lots of people I met at the bash. I'm glad to put a face with the name here. Really had a really good time meeting all you guys.
A lot of them have clever screen names too.
You gotta remember them to match with the faces. But Eric Bush says, Justin, have you ever topped out your ZR1? No, I haven't, but I've been pretty close.
On the track.
Yeah,
You've been
of course,
on
the track and Mexico. Bruno, I will be doing that probably next week. I'm gonna make a video with it first.
It's a Prius. We already had this discussion.
Oh wow. Eric says he saw 198 with the wing, 211 without. I'm assuming he means. 198 still pretty good with the wing. I mean, you would think that they would cause more drag than that, but that's still pretty nice.
What does that actually mean?
Top speed.
Oh, okay.
191, guys. We got 221 in here watching, so we're about 30 off, which is odd. But if you guys could, thumbs up really helps.
Thank you everybody for tuning in tonight too.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
It's fun.
New Horizon says, Justin, I'm really hoping the ZR1 is a flat plane crank. I'll be honest, if it's not and it's cross plane, I may consider just going for the Z06. That's exactly what I'm thinking, man. It's like two things have to happen for me to get to ZR1. It's got to be a flat plane crank, and it has to be less than 250,000 fully loaded. Yeah.
Since when was $250,000 affordable?
I didn't say that was affordable.
Oh, okay.
But I'll sell whatever I have to. I'm going to trade my C8 Z06.
Guys, we're going to be living in this ZR1. We won't have a house anymore, so we'll be doing lives from our cell phones.
Honestly, if the ZR1 was not a two-seater car, we could live in it.
You can live in it. I'm not living in it.
But yeah, seriously, guys, the C8 Z06 is so good. I love that flat plane crank so much. I would not want to get rid of it for the ZR1. So unless the ZR1 is a flat plane crank, I will not be getting one. And again, the price has to be right. I'm not going to go crazy with the price on this thing.
Hey, Wally Gator, thanks for tuning in.
Haven't checked in. Hello, Justin and Amber. Enjoying the show as always. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys are pretty cool. Abraham Wilson, what is the MSRP supposed to be?
We don't really know.
Nobody has said for sure yet, but I'm speculating somewhere between 130 and 150 to start. And then you check some boxes and you are rapidly at 220, 250.
Do you really think that the options are going to be over $100,000?
Oh yeah.
Do you really?
The Z06, whenever I bought my Z06, it started at 106.
So what?
And I ended up paying almost almost 160 for it.
So what you're trying
and
to
that wasn't even all the options I could check.
So what you're trying to tell me is with the markups, probably $75,000 to $100,000, you're gonna have an almost $400,000 car when
Yep.
my Lamborghini Urus does sound good.
Hanging with Shane says, horsepower obsessed next outing, subscribers and friends, renting a landing strip for top speed runs. I am
fun.
definitely not.
That sounds fun.
I am not opposed to that.
That sounds a lot of fun. I wonder if we could rent out the airstrip by us. Didn't Josh rent it out before?
Yeah. He didn't have the best luck with the people that run it, I guess. But it wouldn't be, and not only that, that's not for top speed. That would be for just quarter miles.
It'd be just to have fun, though.
Yeah.
That still would be fun.
I'll send my thumbs up pic, Justin. Oh yeah, you should. Cars and Airplanes says, Justin, did you like the E-Ray spitting flames before that acceleration? Yeah, that was nuts. That was absolutely insane.
I never saw it.
It was on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
It was Steven's E-Ray.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, dealer markup's going to be at least 100,000 to begin with.
Totally.
At least 100K. And honestly, if what I've heard about it is true, which I've heard that it's not going to be a massively produced car, if they do limit production on this car, it's going to be way over 100,000.
Think of the markups that were on the Z06, and that was a demanding car.
When the Z06 first came out, I saw markups as high as 200, but
nuts.
that didn't last long. It dropped to 100 almost immediately.
Wait, 200's not even buying the car yet. Like,
yeah, I know.
Imagine with $200,000, another 30 more grand, you can have a Urus.
Well, that's not a comparable car.
I know, but for me it is.
Yeah, so here, 11-second clips. I'm all in at 232,000 with tax when I pick up my Z06 next month.
Holy that is freaking crazy. So wait, did he pay over somewhere?
Yes.
11-second eclipse. Where did you get your car from, if you care to share?
He's not going to share that.
Okay.
So
that's a lot of money.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know personally what he paid over, and
that is nice.
He's still well over 200,000 on that car, even without the markup.
Jeez.
Even without a markup, he's still over 200,000.
Wow. So he has to. Was the Z07 on constraint or anything?
No, he got everything. He got everything, and it's a really, really well spec'd car. But even if you don't pay over, if you spec the Z06 out, if you spec it out, you're right at 200,000's front door.
11-second eclipse is not far. He was at Corvette Carlisle last year.
Yeah, he just said it. I think he was in.
Is he going to go this year? Are you going this year? 11-second eclipse to Corvette Carlisle?
He better. I want to see that car. Let's get those thumbs ups, guys. What are we at? We got 216 in here watching. We are at
195.
195.
Keep them coming, baby.
We're 220 watching now. We should easily be able to hit 200.
Hello.
No, it wasn't too much over, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you're counting mods too, yeah. Jeremy 2020 Matrix 8's at 250K with his mods, and he got a Z07 as well. So Z07 is going to put you really close to 200,000 before you do anything. Before taxes, it's going to be really close. And that's like, I didn't get Z07 and I was still at about 160. Part of the reason for the Z06's high price could be slow production ramp up and some production issues at start, hoping the ZR1 markups aren't too bad. ZR1's going to be worse, at least initially. It might get better based on the fact that it does seem like GM's starting to meet production needs at this point, but that ZR1 is definitely going to be over, I would say initially, at least 100K. 11-second clip says, yes, I'm definitely going to Carlisle. I guess I'll have to get a spot to show it. Yeah.
You better get a spot for sure. Yeah, definitely have to bring it.
Vet Sweetnoss says, I have about 200K in mind, but it's exactly the way I want. Going to add exhaust and cats. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the thing. Get the car you want. It doesn't, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you pay over. It doesn't matter how much you pay for the car. If you got exactly what you wanted, that's all that matters.
Hey, Patrick, I got so much heat for that car. So Justin kept my old car. It was paid off.
So Patrick, don't say anything about what the new car is.
Yeah, right. But Patrick detailed the car for Justin, and he's actually taking that down to Florida. So the old car's still here, but
we're gonna talk
for long.
We're gonna talk all about that in a future video, guys. So stay tuned for that. But Bill Miller says ZR1 will be limited built as well as limited availability. I think so too. Eric says, Justin, tell us where to get HPO merch. Guys, check out the link in the description down below. It'll take you right to my website.
We never talk about merch on this channel, huh?
I really don't talk about my merch as much as I should, but the links in the description down below take you right to my website where you can buy t-shirts, key tags, stickers, all kinds of stuff for your cars.
And we're hoping by Corvettes of Carlisle we have some new logos.
New shirts, yep.
New shirts. Thanks to Super 8.
ZR1 exhaust isn't sounding as good as the Z06 so far. Yeah, I agree. That's one thing. Let me play that before we end this. I do want to play this real quick. For those of you who haven't seen this yet, this is a video of the ZR1 idling. So one more time. That really does sound like a flat plane crank to me. For the first time, because you guys know I've been saying since this car was first shown, it was not a flat plane crank. That sounds like a flat plane crank. So now I'm wondering. What'd you say?
Bruno has a Labradoodle.
Aw.
My sister has an Aussie Doodle, so I think they look they look almost alike. They're fairly close.
No, Mr. T, she did not. We're taking donations though, if you'd like. There it is, 200 thumbs ups, guys. We hit it. Boom. Actually, I think if I do this, no, I must have that turned off.
Weird.
We got 201 now, guys. Thank you. This was a successful night, of course. Anytime we hit 200, it's a successful live video. But yeah, Eric Bush says that's 100% flat plane. I don't know why. I have no idea because I talked to the engineer at the bash, said it's not a flat plane crank. He wouldn't say what it is, but he said it wasn't a flat plane crank. And all of the other clips I've heard did not sound anything like that. But that one, that sounds like a flat plane crank to me. So yeah. Oh, Judy's in the house. She says, hi, guys. Hi, guys. Bye, guys. And Amber, I got on here real late. Nice to see you.
I know Judy lives far away, and she said that Carlisle was on her bucket list, but she went last year. So I wonder, are you going to go again to Carlisle, Judy, this year?
No, she's not.
She's not? You know that?
She said before that was a one and done for her.
Okay.
All right, guys. So that's pretty much going to do it, I think. I want to end this kind of with this again. I want to make it very well known, because every time I have an event or every time I go to an event, I inevitably get a couple comments that say, "Oh man, I wish I would have known you were doing this." So I'm going to blast this out there as much as I possibly can. You guys are going to get sick of hearing about this really soon. But Horsepower and Pizza is my car show coming up May 18th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Come out and say hi. It's at Blackout Tinting in Gibsonia. The address is right there at the bottom of your screen. Come out and say hi. Bring your cars. If you can't bring your car, fly in. Come hang out. Literally, there's going to be pizza there for you guys. There's going to be drinks. It's going to be a big show. I've already had almost 1,000 people say, respond to the event. So it's going to be huge. Come out and say hi. I'd love to see, meet all of you guys. I'm going to pound this in. I'm going to pound this into you guys' heads as much as I can, because I want all of you to know that it's happening. I hate those comments when people say, "Oh, I wish I would have known this was happening." So yeah, you're going to get sick of this. But anyway, that's pretty much going to do it for tonight's live, guys. Really appreciate all of you hanging out with me and Amber, talking about the ZR1 and the Z06. The big news of the Z06 is that it is, in fact, a sub 7-minute car based on someone who actually has a serious ability to drive. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, LT4 powered, bring your helicopter. I'd love to have that. That'd be cool. We could ceramic coat it right there for everybody to see. What's going on here? I'm missing something. The engineer at the bash said they could not twin turbo flat plane crank. They didn't say it wasn't a flat plane crank. Yeah, I don't remember exactly how he worded it now. Maybe that was it. But anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the thumbs ups. You guys really helped with support tonight. We will catch you guys next Monday night, same time, same place. If you didn't leave thumbs up yet, please do. Smash the thumbs up on your way out. And guys, we will see you next Monday night.
Good night. Thanks for tuning in.